You don't need to master every mid lane matchup. Learn the key patterns and the lane becomes simple. Ahri doesn't win lane through damage, she wins through charm. Everything revolves around her E. If it lands, you lose the trade. If it misses, you win. Play around her charm cooldown. It's long early, so use that window to step up and trade. Position around minions to block charm and make it harder for her to find angles. Her Q damage is mostly on the return. Sidestep it after the first hit to avoid the true damage burst. Once her ult is down, she has no mobility. She's a sitting duck. Akali wins lane when she gets on top of you. Her lane revolves around landing E. If it hits, she can fully commit. If it misses, she has no reliable way in. Play around her E. If she misses it, step up and trade while she has no gap close. Her Shroud is her strongest control tool. Don't fight inside it. Back off and wait it out. Once Shroud is down, she's exposed. That's your best time to pressure. Avoid her short range Qs. That's how she sets up empowered orders and wins trades. Around 70% HP, she can kill you with a full combo, so don't sit in that range. Time your flash on her final dash. That's where her execute damage lands. Akshan wins lane through constant pressure. You don't beat him in straight trades. His threat comes from E. It gives him gap close damage and mobility all at once. If he gets a clean E, he wins the trade. Don't take extended trades. He outdamages you with passive procs and shield. Play at range and look to poke. Full commits favor him. If he uses E aggressively, step in front to cancel it and cut his damage. Once E is down, that's your window. It's the only time you can trade back. Stay aware of his W. He can go invisible, reposition, or leave lane to roam. Use minions or towers to block his ultimate. Don't give him a clean execute. Anivia's entire threat comes from her Q. Everything revolves around her Q. If it lands, you get stunned. She follows it with E and you lose the trade. Her Q is slow. Sidestep it consistently and you remove most of her threat. If Q is down, step up. She has no reliable way to trade back. After level 6, respect her zone. Her R controls space and she can trap you with a wall. If she drops low, remember her passive. She has a second life through her egg and will try to bait you. Ping the egg when it's down. That's your timer to kill her before it's back up. Annie wins lane when her stun is ready. Everything revolves around her passive. At 4 stacks, her next ability will stun, and that's when she looks to engage. Many Annie players hold 3 stacks, then use E to instantly reach 4 and catch you off guard. Once her stun is used, step up. She has no real threat without it. Push the wave to force her to use abilities on minions. That reduces her pressure and gives you windows to trade. At level 6, she can one-shot squishies with a full combo. Mercury treads reduce her burst enough to survive. Without them, you're always in kill range. Aurelion Sol doesn't win lane through trades. He wins if you let him scale and control space for free. His lane revolves around keeping you at range while he stacks safely. If you let him farm comfortably, the matchup gets worse fast. Pressure him early before he scales. He's much easier to punish. The only way he reliably outtrades you is on top of his E. Don't fight inside it. If he uses E on the wave, he loses control. That's your window to step up. When he uses Q, he has to stand still. Aim your skill shots here for guaranteed hits. Aurora wins lane through skill shots. If they land, you get chipped down fast. Her damage comes from Q and E, and her safety comes from W. If Q and E miss, she has no damage. If W is down, she has no escape. Get early boots. It makes dodging her Q and E much easier. Move unpredictably. Don't give her clean skill shots. If she misses Q and E, step up. She has no real damage without them. If she uses W to reposition, punish immediately. That's her only way out. Once she has ult, respect her all in. Don't stay low. Azir wins lane through soldier poke. If you stand in range, you get chipped down constantly. His pressure comes from Q repositioning soldiers. Once it's used, can't move them again, which limits his poke. Don't stand on his soldiers. That's where all his damage comes from. Don't take free autos. If he uses E, step up immediately. No escape and high mana cost leaves him vulnerable. At level 6, respect his zone. Don't fight near his tower or he can sweep you in. You can body block his E dash, deny his escape or engage completely. Brand wins lane through his stun. If it lands while you're ablaze, you lose the trade. His Q only stuns if you're already burning. If that happens, he follows with his full combo and you can't trade back. Stay behind minions to block Q, but don't stand in them, since his E and passive will chip you down. Once Q is down, step up. He has no control without it. At level 6, don't stand near him or the wave, as his ult will bounce and multiplies his damage. Cassiopeia wins lane if her Q lands. If Q hits, she runs you down with E. If it misses, that's your window. Play to poke, don't commit. Chip her from range. Step up briefly when Q is down. That's your only trade window. Don't take extended fights. Her sustained damage will outscale you. Stay out of her W. It locks you in and removes your ability to fight back. At level 6, turn away during her ultimate. Avoiding the stun wins the fight. Diana wins lane if her Q lands. Q marks you and lets her dash twice with E. If it hits, she can fully commit. If it misses, she can't engage without major risk. Move unpredictably to avoid Q. Don't give her a clean mark. When Q misses, step up. She has no real way to outtrade you. Stay outside of her engage range when Q is up. That's when she's looking to go in. At level 6, you can time your flash before her ult crashes down. That's where her burst lands. Ekko wins trades through his passive. If he gets 3 hits, you lose the trade. He needs 3 hits from his abilities or autos to proc his passive. If he gets it, he bursts and disengages. Keep trades short. Don't let him reach 3 hits. When Q is down, step up. He loses his easiest way to stack passive. Watch for W setup. He'll often place it out of vision and play around the stun. Match his wave push. Don't get stuck under your tower where he can pressure freely. At level 6, stay out of his ult shadow. That's where his damage lands. Fizz wins lane through his E. If it's up, you can't fight him. E gives him damage, gap close, and invulnerability. If he has it, he controls the trade. When his E is down, step up immediately. That's your window. At level 6, respect his range. He can Q-dash in from a minion and throw his ult from distance. Build Zhonya's later, it completely negates his ult burst. Galio wins lane through his E-dash. If it connects, he follows with his full combo. His E is the ability that starts everything. It closes the gap, knocks you up, and gives him the opening for the rest of his damage. Don't give him a straight angle for E. Sidestep it to make it miss. Punish the miss immediately. That's your trade window. Keep your spacing so he can't follow with W. At level 6, watch his movement. He'll look to leave lane and use his ultimate. You can interrupt his ultimate with hard crowd control just before he takes off. Hwei wins lane through his E. If it connects, he can chain the rest of his damage. He needs to land 2 abilities to trigger his passive, and that's where a large portion of his damage comes from. If you get hit by 1 ability, back off until the passive expires. Don't let him land the second. When E misses, step forward and trade. He has no way to stop you. Don't stay near his Q on the ground. He can pull you in with E and extend the trade. His ultimate is a slow narrow skill shot, but it's usually used after CC. If you're caught, you have to commit to the fight. Aurelia wins lane through her E. If it hits, she can follow with Q and take over the trade. Her damage comes from chaining Q after she gets an opening, usually off E or the wave. Watch low health minions. She will Q through them to reach you. When E misses, step up and trade. She loses her clean setup. Don't trade when she has full passive stacks. Her damage is heavily amplified, so keep trade short and poke instead. Don't fight while she's using W. She will negate most of your damage. At level 6, respect her range. If she lands R, extended trades favor her. Kassadin isn't a threat before 6. That's when the lane is decided. Before level 6, he has no reliable way to engage or trade back, so you can pressure him freely. Play aggressively early. He can't punish you before level 6. Punish and trade often. Don't let him farm for free. Respect his Q shield when poking. It can block part of your damage. At level 6, adjust based on the lane. If he's even or ahead, back off. If he's behind, keep pressuring. Kassadin is a ticking time bomb. Weak early, but if he reaches level 16, he will take over the game. Katarina wins lane through her daggers. If you're near them, you lose the trade. Her damage comes from picking up daggers with E. Stay away from her daggers. That's where the damage is. Trade when no Q or W dagger is available. She can't fight back properly. Hold your CC for her E. That's when she commits. At level 6, save any hard CC or mobility to disengage her ultimate. LeBlanc's W into E chain is what kills you. If it connects, the trade is already lost. She only wins when W gets her in range to land E, so removing W removes her threat. Stay outside her W range so she can't outtrade you. Trade immediately after W is used, since she has no follow-up. Position around minions so her E chain can't connect cleanly. Push the wave to force her to use W on minions instead of you. At level 6, respect her R Mimic, since she can repeat W or E to extend the trade. Lissandra's E Claw is the trigger. Once she reaches you, the CC chain does the rest. She needs E to get in range, so denying E removes her ability to fight. Stay outside her E range so she can't start trades on you. Poke from range instead of committing, since she wants close range fights. Avoid lining up behind minions, as her Q will hit you through them. At level 6, don't overcommit, as her R makes her untargetable and flips the trade. Lux's Q snare is everything. If it hits, you lose the trade instantly. Her entire damage relies on Q connecting, so removing Q removes her pressure. Stay behind 2 minions so her Q can't reach you through the wave. You'll get hit by her E sometimes, just back off after so she can't auto and proc her passive. Stand near the wave to make her E push, forcing her into vulnerable position. Don't chase low HP under tower, as she will turn with Q, W and barrier. At level 6, never get hit by Q, since it guarantees her full combo with R. Malzahar is harmless pre-6, but his R suppress turns any trade into a kill the moment you drop low. He wins when his E spreads and gets refreshed by Q, so dodging Q stops his damage. Break his passive shield before trading so your combo actually deals damage. Stay away from infected minions so his E doesn't spread onto you. Clear his voidlings first, since they add most of his early damage. At level 6, never drop low in lane, as he can flash plus R to set up for a guaranteed kill. Mel's Q and E poke slowly chip you down, forcing you into lethal range over time. She relies on sustained poke while W blocks your CC, so forcing W first removes her safety. Stay at max range and keep moving so her Q doesn't fully connect. Force out her W early, even if it costs your CC. Your cooldown comes back first, so you get the real trade window. Look to trade only after W is down, since she has no way to stop your setup. Don't drop low in lane, as her R can instantly finish you once you're in range. Naafiri's W makes her untargetable, forcing a trade you can't interact with. She wins when you stay in range after her W, letting her follow up with Q and dogs. Wait out her W, then step forward and trade immediately while it's down. Getting hit by one Q is fine, just don't let her hit both. Kill her dogs when you can, since they add more damage than expected. Stay back at level 6, since her R has a massive gap close and extends the fight. Use her R lockdown to bait her into bad positions or even under tower. Neeko's E gets faster and roots longer through minions, so the wave won't protect you. She wins E hits through minions into Q and empowered auto, so spacing her E removes her damage. Don't rely on minions for safety, since her E gets stronger when it passes through them. Stay at max range and only step up after E is down. You'll get hit by Q sometimes, just don't stand still or it will hit you again. Track the wave carefully, since she can disguise as a minion and catch you off guard. At level 6, stay high HP, as her R knockup into full combo can one-shot you. Orianna will slowly bleed you out with Q if you keep walking into her range. Her pressure comes from constant Q repositioning, so avoiding the ball limits her poke. If you're struggling to dodge Q, rush early boots to make it much easier. Trade after she uses Q or W. That's when her damage window is down. Respect her passive autos in trades, since they add more damage than expected. Play around the ball's position, since that determines her real threat range. At level 6, respect her R, as staying near the ball lets her pull and burst you. Qiyana's threat is landing 2 Qs with her dashes, letting her burst you before you can respond. She wins during short mobility windows, so surviving her dashes removes her danger. Back off when she uses brush Q, since this makes her hard to target and trade into. Wait for her to use her dashes, then trade once her mobility is gone. Don't get hit by both Qs, since that's where most of her damage comes from. Avoid pushing too far up, as she wants extended trades where she can chase. At level 6, stay away from walls, river and brush, as she can stun and burst you instantly. Get rooted by Ryze's W and you lose the trade. Everything revolves around W, so playing around it removes his pressure. Trade immediately after W is down, since he can't lock you in place. If you are hit by E, don't stand in minions or he will spread back onto you. Keep trade short, since he can kite with movement speed. At level 6, be ready to interrupt his R with CC and ward and ping his movement since he will look to roam. If Swain lands E, you're getting pulled in and chunked. That's the whole lane. He only wins when E hits, which pulls you in and guarantees W and an easy Q follow-up. Don't stand next to minions, since it makes his E much easier to land. Keep moving unpredictably so his E is harder to hit. Trade hard after his E is down, since he has no way to lock you in place. Respect close range, since his Q deals more damage the closer you are. At level 6, don't commit to long fights unless you can burst him, as his R will out-heal you. Ignite helps cut this. Sylas runs you down in extended trades. Give him space and you lose. He wins when he can fully cycle his abilities and autos, so denying space removes his damage. Play closer to your tower, since he struggles to finish trades without space. Dodge his E chain, since missing it removes his ability to commit. Punish immediately after E misses, since that's your main window. Take Ignite to cut his healing and win the 1v1. At level 6, respect your own ultimate, and once he uses it, play around the long cooldown window. Syndra's E stun is the entire lane. If it hits, you lose the trade. She only threatens when E connects with a Q sphere. Don't stand between her and a sphere, sidestep it. Trade hard after E is used, since she has no way to stun you. Early boots make dodging much easier. If she can't hit skill shots, she can't kill you. She'll get hit by Q sometimes, just don't let it turn into a full combo. At level 6, stay high HP, as more spheres mean more damage and she can one-shot you. Talon's passive proc is the lane. If he stacks it 3 times and autos, you get chunked hard. He builds stacks with W and Q, then autos to trigger the damage. Respect W range. Getting hit by the first part is fine, just don't get hit by the return. If you reach 2 stacks, back off until it drops. From level 2 onwards, this is the same. His 3 stacks plus Ignite all in is one of the most dangerous. At level 6, respect his R, as it helps him stack passive faster and burst you. Only fight him when you're full HP. If he leaves lane, don't follow. Spam ping and push the wave for plates. Taliyah's W flip is the threat. If it hits, you're getting knocked in and chunked. She wins lane by landing W into E and Q, so avoiding W removes her entire combo. Stay away from minions, since her Q will splash and poke you down. Never dash through her E. Wait until it's down before committing. Watch for worked ground, since her Q becomes stronger in those areas. Trade after W is down, since she has no real way to force the combo. At level 6, nothing changes in the 1v1, but don't follow her roams. Spam ping and push the wave. Twisted Fate's lane is his W. Once the card is used, he has no threat. Trade immediately after he uses pick a card, since he has no way to fight back. Respect the gold card, since it's guaranteed Q and empowered auto. His Q is easy to dodge on its own. Stay away from minions when he has a red card, since it will splash onto you. His blue card does the most damage and restores his mana for sustain. At level 6, spam ping that he has R and don't follow. Push the wave instead. Veigar's cage is the lane. If it traps you and you panic, you lose the trade. He only threatens you through cage setup, so staying calm inside it removes most of his damage. Don't give free Q stacks. Staying behind minions is fine, just don't take unnecessary hits. If you're inside the cage, don't panic. Dodge the W and avoid the stun. Watch for aggressive cages, since he's often setting up for a jungler. Punish him early, as he's weak without items and stacks. At level 6, stay above at least 30% HP, since his R will finish you off. Vel'Koz wins when he lands 3 hits. That's when the true damage kicks in. His damage comes from stacking his passive, so if you get hit, back off so the stacks expire and he doesn't proc it. Early boots make dodging much easier and reduce his poke. Trade hard after his knockup is used, since it's his only peel. You'll get hit sometimes, just don't let it chain into 3 hits. At level 6, interrupt his R or land skill shots while he's locked in place. Vex's fear is the lane. If it's up, you can't trade. Watch the bar under her HP. When it's full, her fear is ready. When it's down, she has no CC. Trade when fear is down since she can't stop you. Avoid dashing into her, since it marks you and lets her deal extra damage. You'll get poked sometimes, just don't walk into fear plus Q together. At level 6, keep moving unpredictably in vision, or she can land an R and burst you from range. Viktor will slowly chip you down with E. That's how he wins the lane. If you're struggling with his poke, early boots help you dodge E more consistently. Trade when W is down, since it's his only real pill. Don't expect free trades. He will always return damage with Q. His wave will naturally push from E, so he's vulnerable to ganks. At level 6, stay full HP before committing, as his R adds heavy burst to his combo. Vladimir's empowered Q is the lane. If it's up, you can't win the trade. Back off when his empowered Q is ready, since he will outdamage and outheal you. Trade when it's down, since he has no real pressure without it. Bait his pull before committing, since you can't all in while it's available. Take Ignite to cut his healing and secure kills, even through his pull. At level 6, his all-in is strong, but Ignite reduces most of his sustain. Xerath is all skill shots. If you stand still, you lose the lane. Keep moving unpredictably so his Q and W are hard to land. If you're struggling to dodge, early boots make it much easier. Stand behind minions to block his E, but expect him to hold it for when you jump in. Let the wave come to you and freeze near your tower, since he will naturally push and becomes vulnerable. Don't let him order you for free, as they restore mana and sustain his poke. At level 6, keep moving and stay spread, since his R will chip you down from range. Yasuo wins extended trades. Give him space and he will run you down. Keep trade short, since he can spam Q and dash through minions to extend fights. Don't let him freeze near his tower, since that gives him space to chase and win trades. Save your burst until Wind Wall is down, or it will block everything. Order him first to remove his shield, so your combo actually deals damage. At level 6, play further back and be extra cautious, since his Q knockup into R adds heavy burst. Yone's threat is his E with Q3. If he lands it, he'll chunk you and snap back safely. Respect his Q stacks. Once he has 2, he's looking to go in. Back off when he uses E, then trade once it ends, since that's your window. Keep trade short, since he wins extended fights with consistent damage. There's no real defensive itemization against him, since he deals mixed damage. Zhonya's is your best option later to avoid his burst. At level 6, be ready for his R. It's dodgeable, but combined with Q3, it's a lot of burst. Zed's W decides the trade. When it's up, he can threaten a full combo. Respect him while W is up. Go hard when W is down, since he has no way to commit or get out. Stay behind minions to reduce the damage from his Q. You can walk into his shadow to make it harder for him to land multiple shurikens. At level 6, respect his burst. If he ults, aim your damage and CC behind you, since he always appears there. Ziggs doesn't need a combo. He'll slowly poke you down until you're forced out. Don't stand in minions, since his Q splash will hit you through the wave. Keep moving to avoid repeated poke, since that's how he wins the lane. Go hard when W is down, since it's his only real escape. You'll get hit sometimes, just don't let it stack over time. At level 6, avoid the center of his R, since it deals the most damage. Zoe's Sleepy Bubble wins the lane. If it hits, she wins the trade every time. Play outside close range early, since that's where it's easiest for her to land it. Rush boots early to make dodging her skill shots much easier. Respect any shards next to her HP bar. If it's Ignite or Flash, factor it into trades. You'll get poked sometimes, just don't stay too close to minions because of Q's splash damage. At level 6, be extra cautious, since she can gap close and land an easier E. When she uses R, she always returns to the same spot, so aim your CC and skill shots there. That's the core of every mid lane matchup. One key idea per champion, so you always know what to look for. If you want to go deeper into wave control, roaming, and full mid lane fundamentals, I'll cover that separately. And if there's anything you're struggling with in lane, let me know. I'll use it for future guides. I'm Zeus, and I'll see you in the next one.